All In Sports Network. We love sports.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome into today's episode of All In Mizzou, where we talk about Mizzou every day with Rogue Media. My name is Davis Wilson. Like I said, it's Tuesday, which means one thing. It means we're rewatching Missouri's offense against Vanderbilt. Missouri lost to Vanderbilt by 17-10 on Saturday to the Vanderbilt Commodores. And you know what? This has been an episode, a weekly episode we've done all season. And I'll be honest, the Offense Rewatch used to be a lot more fun than it is right now. I used to watch and see Missouri put up a ton of points and, get to kind of dive into the play calling and how it's working and, draw out some plays on the board. The last couple of weeks, I haven't really felt like doing that because I have other things to talk about because this team isn't scoring anymore. The offense doesn't look good outside of basically one or two or three players, depending on the day. It's not clicking. And with the amount of talent that Missouri has on that side of the ball, I'm not sure. All right, I just paused because I had some Wi-Fi issues, of course. What's new? Good grief. I forgot what I was saying. But, Missouri's offense feels like it's really talented. And I don't know why it's not working outside of just I don't think the play calling has been advantageous. It hasn't been something that Missouri has an advantage in. It doesn't give Missouri an advantage on offense, the play calling. I also think the offensive line has gotten a lot worse since it started playing bigger SEC, bigger, stronger guys on the defensive line. It's really getting pushed around. You're seeing plays that used to work for Missouri a lot, like that outside zone run that we drew on the whiteboard a couple times a few weeks ago, where basically all the linemen, are zone blocking to the right, and it's a stretch play. Hardy's running outside of the tackle, and you're basically letting him pick a hole based on what zones the offensive line is able to get into and block. That play doesn't work when you're getting pushed around, and Missouri got pushed around. The outside zone really hasn't been working as well as it did the last couple of weeks. They've had to rely on a lot more misdirection and counter runs, which has worked still pretty well. But that's something that has been a problem. The offensive line kind of getting bullied around, out physicaled for sure. So there's some basic stats. I did this yesterday, but I'll go through it again. Matt Zollers leads the game in passing, and he played a little less than full half of football. He was 14 of 23, 138 yards and a touchdown. Bo Prabula, who went out with an ankle injury early in the third quarter, was 9 of 14 for 68 yards. Self-proclaimed Heisman favorite Diego Pavia was 10 of 19 with 129 yards and an interception. If he's the Heisman, if he thinks he's the Heisman, I think Bo Prabula is I think Matt Zeller is the Heisman because he just outplayed him on his own field. So that's what I think. Running the ball, Ahmad Hardy had 97 yards on 20 carries. 20 carries is not enough, in my opinion. I know you were kind of down and coming from behind, especially at the end of the game, but 20 carries is not enough. Jamal Roberts has 10 carries for 22 yards. Kevin Coleman Jr., 2 carries for 44 yards. Bo had 4 carries for 10 yards. Matt had 4 carries for 4 yards. Josh Manning had 1 carry for -7 yards on a terrible, terrible play call that I'll talk about in a little bit. Receiving, Kevin Coleman Jr., 7 catches, 109 yards. This was his best game in a long time, racking up 154 total yards, I think. Pretty good. Jude James, really, really nice game from, I think he's a redshirt freshman. Jude James from St. Charles, Missouri, had 4 catches for 29 yards and a score, the only touchdown of the day for the Tigers, which is not going to win you many football games if your backup tight end is the only guy getting in the end zone and he just gets in once. You're not going to win any games in the SEC like that. Josh Manning, 4 catches for 24 yards. Marquise Johnson, who looks like he is having zero fun out there playing in this offense. Little number 2 from he's a Texas guy. Dickinson, Texas, 5'11", 185 pounds. 3 catches for 100, or sorry, upside that gives you a chance to make some really big plays. Donovan Olubade from Florida, I believe. Or no, Chicago, sorry. He's from Chicago. 1 catch for 11 yards. Was targeted another time. It was a pass interference, but only 1 catch for 11 yards. Come on. What are we doing? Brett Norfleet, only 1 catch for 3 yards. Yeah. Jamal Roberts fumbled it. It was kind of both Jamal and Matt Zollers. It was a blown play from the beginning, but you got to find a way to not turn the ball over there. I'll talk about that in a little bit as well. All right, let's go through this game. I'm going to start at the very beginning because when the moment this game began, I was like, what are we doing? What is Missouri doing? Missouri wins the toss and elects to receive. Here's my question. That's not something Missouri does typically. They typically defer to the second half, which I always do. Because it gives you an opportunity to get to capitalize on the end of the second half or into the first half and take that into the beginning of the second half. So that was weird, very weird to elect to receive, especially because what have you seen out of this offense that gives you any sort of confidence to say, yeah, we want the ball first and we want to go score? The only time I've been a fan of a team that has done that and I've been okay with it was like a couple of years ago when the Cowboys had these really, really good offenses and a pretty good defense too. Sometimes I think it was the Mike McCarthy era. Sometimes they would say, we want the ball. And in that case, I still didn't I still prefer to defer just because it gives you a chance to really turn the game, flip the game in the end of the first, the beginning of the second half. But the Cowboys would elect to receive and they'd go down there and score, and they'd go down there and score easily. And then you could trust their defense. Says, we're going to go score a touchdown on the first drive of this game. Let's go down there and score a touchdown. Missouri, I'm doing the calculations right now. Missouri didn't score a first half touchdown, obviously, against Vanderbilt. Didn't score a first half touchdown against Auburn. Scored 1 touchdown on the first drive of the game against Alabama, which, at that point in time, you still felt pretty good about this Missouri offense. So it was a great looking drive that took you all the way down the field. UMass obviously scored 2 first half touchdowns. South Carolina, you scored no first quarter touchdowns. Sorry, I'm talking about first quarter touchdowns, not half. If I've been saying half, I've been actually talking about first quarter. So yeah, I don't get it. Like, this has not been a team that has popped out to you offensively. So why are you saying, all right, yeah, let's get the ball, let's go score? I mean, just defer. Put your really good defense out there to get a stop, get some momentum, and then get your offense out there. Instead, they elect to receive, and of course, very predictably, they go 3 and out. Bad. I think one thing I noticed with Prbula in there, and I have a stat to back this up, but he's leaving the pocket too early. He's hanging on to the ball for too long. Even when the pocket, even if he can step up into it and keep it a clean pocket, he's leaving it early. He's panicking, kind of leaving early. I think Zollers did a really nice job of staying in there, even if it meant taking a tough hit and making a throw in the pocket. But Prbula gets himself into some really tough situations by just abandoning the pocket so quickly. The first drive of the second, sorry for the pause again. Terrible Wi-Fi, having some real problems over here. I'm in like a little nook of the house that I guess doesn't get any Wi-Fi. So I'm having to kind of navigate it right now. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, yeah. In the first quarter, there was a 3rd and 5 on the second drive of the game, I believe. And they ran a stupid – I mean, anytime you have a 3rd down and medium, especially, even a 3rd down and short, and the play starts going backwards, I hate it. This was a play that started behind the line of scrimmage. It was an end around to Josh Manning. And from the very beginning, it was just the disaster. I just hate that play call. I hate it. Throw the ball. You have to trust your quarterback to throw the ball on a 3rd and 5. Do you not have a 5-yard play that you really like other than a end around? I mean, come on, man. So of course they punt the ball there on the 3rd drive of the game, which I think is the first drive of the second quarter. Things start to get going a little bit for Missouri offensively because they are, executing quick passes. The run game's starting to work. They're running it straight up Missouri's Vanderbilt's defensive line. It's working. There's play action starting to work because run's starting to work. I will say I've seen a lot of people upset about Kirby Moore calling a fake pitch quarterback run on the goal line in the quarter. I'll talk about that sequence of plays, but I don't blame him for calling that play because it's worked every time it's happened. Brady Cook was a master at it. Bo Prbula's used it a couple times this year. He used it in this game on this drive on a 3rd and 2. Fake pitch quarterback run. It worked. You're driving. Here you are. Bo Prbula's starting to run. There's a designed run to Bo Prbula around the right edge down the sideline. Penalty. Tripping on Dominic Judice. Frustrating. The offensive line killed Missouri in this game with the penalties. Killed Missouri in this game. The little momentum and success that Missouri did get going in this game was probably ruined by a extremely untimely false start, tripping, holding. I mean, whatever it was, Missouri's offensive line had a lot of mistakes. And also, outside of the penalties, they weren't necessarily super impressive to me. So Bo gets all the way down to like the 1-yard line. It's called all the way back for a tripping call, which takes you back 15 yards and then another 15 yards because that's the penalty, the spot foul. And you have to settle for a field goal. And thankfully, Robbie Meyer makes this one. It's 3-0. Missouri leads. I think Vanderbilt ties it up. The second half continues kind of the same way. You get something really nice here with a Kevin Coleman Jr. run. It was like a 40-something yard run, really nice, or 34 yards maybe. Really nice run. He looked good. He looked really good. Getting him out in space was a good idea. I give Kirby credit for that. Kirby and Drink a lot of credit for just deciding, hey, we're going to get the ball into Kevin Coleman Jr.'s hands because he's pretty good. I think this, there was as bad as I think that the penalties were for Missouri, just based on the like some of these penalties were deserved, but some of them, I think the reffing in some cases was pretty bad. They missed a completely blatant offsides call where the defensive tackle for Vanderbilt jumped across and touched Missouri's center before he snapped it. No call. Both thought it was a free play, so he chucks it up, and Missouri has to punt. So just frustrating stuff there. Let's see. All right, let's get into the second half because this is where things get a little more interesting. It's 3-3. Missouri starts the game off similarly to the Alabama game. They start the game off with a turnover to start the second half. Damon Wilson gets an interception. Missouri starts at Vanderbilt's 20-yard line. So you'd think they'd come away with some points here. That's the expectation. Come away with some sort of points, right? They started off really nice. Another Kevin Coleman Jr. end-around run. Ahmad Hardy gets a 7-yard run that gets him down to like the 5-yard line. On second down, you run it with Hardy again. There's a really heavy package there, kind of right on the goal line. Maybe it's like the 3-yard line. They get a four tight end package in there. So it's a heavy set. I like that. I like just saying, okay, hey, we're going to run it. I don't care if you know we're going to run it. I think this would have worked if your guys can block. Like you get so there's a bunch of tight ends out there. Vince Brown Jr. is outside on the right, lining up as the outside receiver. He doesn't get any sort of a block, and he's out there to block. He is a tight end playing wide receiver. He's not out there to go catch a pass. He's out there to block. Doesn't even really attempt to block that much. And Hardy gets brought down. So now it's 3rd and short right there on the goal line. And, you'd think that, hey, Missouri has one of the best running backs in the country, the best in the SEC. It's 3rd and short. Maybe we should run. Instead, it's an incomplete pass, and it's a running play to Bo Prabila, who breaks his ankle. Again, I'm not blaming the injury on Kirby Moore, but I do think the sequence by Kirby Moore was terrible. Completely, even if Bo didn't get hurt. I'm not really taking that into account because I think that was a dirty play by the Vanderbilt defender. Hey, just run the ball. It's not rocket science. You have Ahmad Hardy back there. Just hand it off to him. I don't care if you do it 3 times in a row. Just do it. I trust him to pick up, 3 yards. I trust him to. Instead, Missouri turns it over on down. 0 points after the drive starts at Vanderbilt's 20-yard line. Of course, that is immediately followed up by an 80-yard touchdown run by one of Vanderbilt's running backs. Again, a blatant missed holding call there. That would have probably otherwise resulted in a tackle for loss for Dalen Carnell, but Missouri goes down 10-7. Now Missouri's 10-3. Missouri's in a hole. Zollers is coming in for the first time, and man, I'm impressed by Zollers. Let's talk about Matt Zollers, the true freshman out of Pennsylvania. Broke his ankle pretty badly his senior year of high school, so hasn't played football. Organized football in a live game setting in a long time. He comes in there, looks very, very poised. He looks really more poised than Bo at some points in this game. Like I said, he's hanging around in the pocket. He's making throws on 3rd down as he's going through his progressions, which I think Bo kind of struggled with. If his first option wasn't there, he'd try to run. I mean, I think Zollers did a nice job of surveying the field, taking into account all the options, and I thought that was really nice, a nice thing for him. There was a throw he had down the field to Brett Norfleet. It was to Norfleet, a little low. Norfleet hit him in the hands, but he drops it. I think those are the types of plays you have to make as an experienced tight end trying to help out a true freshman quarterback. You have to make those plays. It was low. It was not a great pass, but you have to make that play. 4th and 4. Here's the first opportunity to see what Matt's really made of here. 4th and 4. It's kind of a crossing mesh concept. That's what I'm talking about. He's in the pocket. They show blitz. They only bring 4, so he's hanging in the pocket really nicely. His first option looks like maybe Jude James coming across. Then he's looking at Alubade coming across, and then finally, he waits until Josh Manning clears the linebacker and throws a crossing pattern to him for a first down on 4th and 4. Really, really nice job. Josh Manning makes a good catch. There you go. So they're driving again. Zollers has this offense looking the best it's looked all day. It stalls out because you run the ball. I think this is that play. You run the ball here. There's 3rd and 10. You're in field goal range, but not really with Robert Meyer. You're not really ever in field goal range with Robert Meyer, it seems like, at least right now, the way he's kicking it. 3rd and 10, they run the ball and pick up like 5, and it's a 29-yard field goal that Robert Meyer misses. Look, Robert Meyer was not supposed to be kicking this year. He was the second string. He's a walk-on. If it's Blake Craig back there, sure, run the. If you want to be very conservative, run the ball and kick a field goal. Fine. It's 3rd and 10. It's not like it's 3rd and 20 here. It's 3rd and 10. And you're telling me you don't have one single play that you don't feel like is good enough to pick up 10 yards. So you just decide to run the ball and then trot out your true freshman kicker who doesn't have any experience. Right. Makes total sense. You don't even try to throw the ball downfield. What's the difference in a 34-yard field goal, which happens if, say, they throw the pass that's incomplete? So it's 4th and 10. That's a 34-yarder. Instead, you pick up 4 or 5 yards, and now it's a 29-yarder. Do you really feel that different about the field goal situation if it's 29 yards or if it's 34 yards? Are you really telling me that's the 5-yard difference is that significant for you to get points? Are you really telling me that you don't have a play on 3rd and 10 that can get you first down and maybe take some – hey, here's an idea. Take some pressure off the kicker who just missed a game winner against Auburn the week before. Take some pressure off this guy. Don't rely on him to score points. Maybe come up with a play on 3rd and 10 that gives you an opportunity to pick up a first down. That's my brilliant idea for Kirby Moore. Maybe don't run the ball there. Maybe try to pick up a first and go score a touchdown to tie the ball game up. Instead, they settle for a run, settle for a field goal, and predictably, Robert Meyer doinks it. And I'm not really even blaming him because why are you running the ball on 3rd and 10? Doesn't make any sense. Let's see here. The offense gets going. I mean, the defense continues to be really good. I'll talk about them tomorrow, but they're giving this offense so many chances. Finally, you're getting a really nice drive going. Matt Zollers is hanging in the pocket, taking hits, got a little swagger, nice runs. He's looks really, really calm. He's driving down the field. It gets to 4th and 2 down there in the red zone. Missouri goes for it because now all of a sudden you're like, oh, yeah, maybe we shouldn't trust this kicker who has struggled this year. Good idea. They go for it on 4th and 2. Vanderbilt shows pressure, only brings 4. Matt sees it and delivers a nice ball to Jude James, the redshirt freshman tight end who's come in for a banged up Brett Norfleet. Touchdown, first of the game, only one of the game, but a really nice drive there for Matt Zollers, bringing him all the way down the field. His first option wasn't there, so he gets it to Jude James. I like the progressions. I like moving down. So it's 10-10. Missouri actually gets the ball back with maybe 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They're driving. It's 2nd and 10 near the midfield line, and then you get the fumble between Jamal Roberts and Matt Zollers. The play was blown up, but you got to hang on to the ball. You can't give them the ball like that. Vanderbilt's defender just took it from him, and of course, it's great field position. Vanderbilt goes on like a 5-minute drive that drains the clock, and then they get in the end zone to take a 17-10 lead, leaving Missouri with, I think, 1 timeout over a minute left. Counting on your true freshman quarterback to go in there and do it. You just have to take care of the ball in that situation. I mean, you have a chance to go down there and take a lead. Instead, you give the ball back to Vanderbilt in great field position and they go score. So frustrating. Man, I thought Matt was really good on that last drive, though. Gave this team some chances. Wasn't perfect throwing the ball, but really, really made some things happen. There was a 3rd and 32 where he had to scramble and avoided multiple hits to get the ball away that ended up being a pass interference. Could have been a game-saving play, just staying on his feet. There's another tripping call, I think, on this drive, of course. He makes a really, really nice throw. It's 4th and 10 at this point. The game literally on the line. Matt makes a nice throw on the run it's a perfect throw to Kevin Coleman Jr., who brings it in for first down. He had a nice little connection with Kevin Coleman Jr. in this one. So that's something to take away moving forward as they start preparing for Texas A&M in 2 weeks. But then you get the false start. You get an intentional grounding. It's just, kind of unraveling. So all you can do is throw a Hail Mary, and Missouri connects Zollers to Kevin Coleman Jr. again, except you're on about the 6-inch line instead of the end zone. If it's thrown about a foot further, it's a touchdown, which is crazy to think about. But Missouri loses 17-10. And I think you can blame really conservative play calling. I think you can blame some penalties, offensive line, a late turnover. There's a lot that kind of went wrong for Missouri. But they only lost by 7 points to the number 10 team in the country on the road. And so if you play a good game, you get a top 10 win, and you're probably top 10 yourself this week, heading into a really big game with Texas A&M. Instead, again, Missouri falls short, and this one, once again, is on the offense. The defense played an excellent game. Before I get out of here, let's talk PFF grades. Highest graded offensive player was Bo Pribula. I'm not sure really how but it is. Jude James was 2, Keegan Trost 3, Kevin Coleman Jr. 4, Ahmad Hardy 5. Receiving, Jude James, highest receiving grade. Jordan Harris 2, Kevin Coleman Jr. 3, Ahmad Hardy 4, Alubade 5. Only 1 catch for Alubade. Need to get him more involved. Let's go to the blocking. Pass blocking. Not bad. Caden Green had an 87 pass block grade. Keegan Trost, 86.2. Tollison, 84.8. Judice, 77.4. Ahmad Hardy, 74.4. Run blocking, though, is where I did not like it. Brett Norfleet, 84.6 grade. Joshua Manning, 76.2 grade. Your 2 highest graded run blockers are a tight end and a receiver. That's pretty good. Then you have Caden Green, 66.4. And then your next tight end or your next offensive lineman is all the way at 60.7. The lowest graded run blocker of the game, Dominic Judice, 47.5 grade. Second lowest was Connor Tollison, 52.1 grade. Fourth lowest was right guard Curtis Pegler, 53.5 grade. They got pushed around, and that's pretty unfortunate. All right, the last stat I have in comparing Zollers and Bo Pribula, I thought this was pretty interesting. I just think that just on with the eye test, you can see Bo Pribula leaves the pocket a little bit too early, and Matt Zollers hung in there, made some tough throws in the pocket. He left when he had to, but Bo Pribula was leaving when he didn't have to. Matt Zollers' average time to throw was 2.77 seconds. Pribula's was 3.19. This Missouri offense is much better when you get the ball out quickly. Zollers was doing that. Even on the scrambles, Zollers got the ball out in 4.3 seconds while Pribula got it out in 5.5. So the quick passing, I think it just shows that you're comfortable, you're making your reads, you're making quick decisions. I think there are times that even when Pribula throws a complete pass, it's just slightly late. So I think Zollers was really nice about just getting the ball out, getting it to your first option if he's open, not messing around with anything else. I'm not going to be one of those guys that says Zollers is better than Bo Pribula. I don't really believe that yet. I think he played way better, and I think probably he might give you a lot more as a passer. But Perbila's legs is always something. He's a leader of this team. He has college football experience. Zollers is a true freshman, albeit a very highly recruited one, highly ranked. I think one service had him at as a 5-star quarterback. And maybe I think he does have more arm talent, and maybe he's more comfortable as a pocket passer. But your offense does lose at least an element when Bro Perbil is not in there because of his feet. And we did see Zollers able to move around and run a little bit, but I do think the bottom line here is you're going to miss Bo. I mean, I'm rooting for Zollers. I think actually Zollers looked way better than you could have expected. And 2 weeks with the ones, getting more reps, getting an offense tailored to him, preparing for Texas A&M's defense. I think there's a chance that Missouri keeps it closer than people are going to expect. You're back at home. I think people are going to be fired up to see Zollers, and it's a chance to get a signature win. And, I'm excited to see Zollers the rest of the year. I think it's really unfortunate for Bo, just even when you look at the future. I'm not sure how you play your true freshman 5-star quarterback for half of a season and then turn around and say, hey, actually go back to the bench. We're going to let Bo do it. I don't know how they're going to handle the quarterback competition next year. We'll see, but it'll be fun to watch Zollers at least. Feel terrible for Bo. Hopefully, there was a report that said, he's just dealing with torn ligaments because the ankle actually was able to get relocated into place. So I saw there's a chance that he could come back at some point during the regular season. I think that would be awesome. But if not, we're going to see a lot of Zollers, and hopefully we see a steady, progression in his game. And it was a really nice start against Vanderbilt. He was the best quarterback on the field in the game. So we'll see what happens with him. Hey, give Ahmad Hardy the ball on the goal line. That's your big takeaway. He's a really good running back. Or if you don't want to give it to him, give it to Jamal Roberts. Just an idea. That's all I have. Come back tomorrow for my thoughts on the defense. We'll be much more positive because I think the defense rocked in this game and gave you every chance to win. So come back. We'll talk about that. Thanks for joining me. Sorry about the pauses in the video. Hopefully it didn't make you too angry with me. But come back tomorrow. We'll talk defense. Thanks for joining me. Have a great Tuesday. MIZ.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.